This amazing person I met for the first time, I believe, in the first posada that Chris Trujillo threw, and it was in Mexico City. And if I remember correctly, this person received their gold plaque or reached their gold status at the time. And it was me immersed in the Mexico culture of agents that are with this company. And I just remember her speaking with such confidence and how she stood, like with intention, everything about her. And then we just got done with convention. And, I've been having my eye on her since. And you can, like, I've just been witnessing her growth up until now. And I kind of fast forwarded too fast. But since then, she has reached platinum, and not only that, she's reached one-star platinum. Even more so, she's doubled it up by reaching two one-star platinum plaques, not plaques, but two one-star platinum statuses. And there's something to be said about that. Now, when you watch her on like social media, if you follow her, she's on TikTok, she's also on Instagram. She grinds, she goes to work, and during this convention, we weren't too far away from each other as far as our cabins go. And I could just see her set up, and she was getting ready to go to work. She goes on camera and she does her thing, and it's a nonstop work etiquette. And it really does show itself when you see her on camera, because a lot of times, like, we can just, you know, see on the side when you see somebody in front of their camera, and you're like, oh, okay, they're doing their thing and whatever. But then how it translates to viewership and people who are scrolling through their social medias, it's a genuine personality and how she connects with her audience and what she does. It's just truly amazing to see what she's done, how she's gotten there, and all by the means of social media, right? And I think that right there is such a huge element. And it doesn't come without its grind. Obviously, it came with her deciding to make a decision, just like Chris Trujillo did. For those of you guys that did come to convention, there was a piece that Chris Trujillo did say in her training, like she was trying aiming to teach social media, whoever goes viral, can get this kind of result. While she's teaching it, she wasn't that person. And so she made the decision, you know what? If I'm going to teach it, I'm going to be that person. And so sure enough, she herself, finds her way to go viral, and get her huge following on social media from, like, I believe at this point, like a little over 500,000 followers on TikTok. And then, of course, her Instagram is like crazy. And what that ultimately did was create duplication in that regard. And the people who make that decision to say, you know what, I want to do what you do. And here comes Anilu just taking the bull by the horns and doing the same exact thing and carving her own path on social media. So for those of you guys that aren't following her, she does most of her content in Spanish, but still doesn't matter. I would, you should follow her. You should see like how she operates, what she's doing, kind of like how she holds herself, what she's doing with her content, the frequency in which she's posting, how much she's doing, stories, all of the above, and so in that, you're going to see this kind of frequency in work etiquette that she's doing. And she's really digested that pill to swallow to say, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm going to do it. And so once you make that decision, hopefully you'll see what it will take to get to where she is today. And that's extremely profound. And her name is double platinum, one star, double one star platinum, Anilu Manrique. So, welcome to Power Hour, Anilu.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you so much for the invite.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You've been one person that's been tremendously making a mark for herself. And I know a lot of people don't see what's going on in Mexico because, a lot of people here are in the States, of course. But you can't deny the results. Where do they where do they get to see you? They get to see you in places like convention, right? Or posada, like the when you walk the stage. But I want to bring light to people who are actually doing it. And, this is my opportunity to shine a light to you, so that way people are aware of your success, who you are, how you got there, etc. So, this is Annie Lou. And how did this all begin for you? Where,
Like
how
team
did you,
building?
yeah, how did you find like evolution? And tell us a little bit into your journey here.
Well, I find it in 2021. My sponsor's name is Siboney, which also got to the stage this year. So back then in Mexico, Chris, Paz, and Gavi were making like a boot camp, a team building boot camp. And one of the activities was that you needed to ask for several friends to put a post on Facebook that said something like, if you're interested in traveling to Disney or becoming a Disney travel agent, please text my friend at Siboney Gonzalez and she'll help you. So I saw that post on Facebook from a girl that I went to college with. She wasn't even my friend or anything. I only had her on Facebook because back in 2012, when I was in college, she and we had like this homework assignment or whatever. And that's what I had it on Facebook as a friend. Because other than that, I didn't know that girl. Her name was Geraldine. And I saw that post, and back then I've always been a Disney fan. And back then I was thinking about becoming like my own, let's say my own boss. The job that I had back then, I earned like 8,000 pesos, that it's like $400. That was my monthly income. And I mean, I'm married, I live with my husband, and I had where to live, I had food on the table, etc. So for let's say
So what
those
were you
for
doing? What were you
I
doing?
was working on a company as like a administration assistant.
Okay. Behind the desk
Um,
kind of thing.
what?
Behind the desk kind of thing.
Yeah, behind the desk, exactly.
Got it.
Administration stuff. I didn't like it, to be honest, but it
How
was
old were you at the time?
2021. I was 29.
Okay.
I think 29, 29 or 30. No, 30, 30. I was already 30.
So you were working
Um,
at the time. And
yes.
how long have you been married up until that?
Married maybe 2 years.
Okay.
2 or 3 years, yeah, something like that. Okay, so I saw this post and I click where it says at Siboney Gonzalez, and I didn't know her. And I was like, hi, I just saw this post on Geraldine's Facebook page. Can you give me more information? And Siboney gave me information to go to these Zoom meetings. Everything
The
was amazing
presentation.
except, I'm sorry, what?
That would be the presentation.
Yeah, the presentation that we all know.
Yep.
So I went into that Zoom presentation and everything was great except the 69. Back then it was 69 per month, at
Yep.
least for Mexico. And for me,
That's a lot,
69.
right? That would be a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if my entire income, monthly income was $400,
Okay.
69 was too much for me. So
Sure.
I was like, no, no, I don't think so. This is not for me. Of course, Ivone was keeping track and she was texting me like, hi, did you like it? Do you have any questions? Are you interested? And I'm like, yes, I'm interested, but right now I don't have the money. That was the thing.
Mm.
So in October, that was June 2021. In October, a cousin of mine told me like, "Hey, my mom told me that you were going to start your own traveling business, and I want to go to Disney with my boyfriend, and we want to go in a month. And I really, really need to reserve to book everything, my hotel, my tickets." And she was like, "Can we do it today?" And I was like, "Damn, I don't have the tools. I'm not a travel agent yet, but I have a client right here, right now, and was going to be like a $200 commission." And I was like, it's now or never. So I texted Siboney and I was like, hey, I'm interested, but I need to do it today. Can I become an agent today? And can I I book a Disney trip today? She was like, yes, yes, sure. So here's the link. So I went in, I had a Zoom meeting with Siboney, and Siboney helped me to make the booking of my cousin, everything. And that's how I started in October 21. Three months after I went into the Zoom presentation.
So it took uh, uh, a travel arrangement opportunity, like opportunity came knocking to you.
Yeah, for
You're
me, it
realizing, oh my gosh, I can make money off of this. And you already knew you wanted to do it, but there was that lingering monthly fee. I
yeah,
don't want to get involved with that. But then,
yeah,
hey, if I can make like 200 bucks right now, how do I not take advantage of this? So
exactly. The
that
thing
was,
was
uh,
that I have ADH, and I didn't put attention in the Zoom presentation when it says that commissions were paid from 60 to 90 days after the client travel. I
right.
didn't know that. So
Okay.
I was like, yeah, today I'm going to book the trip and tomorrow I'm going to have my $200 for me.
Yeah.
So after I realized that, I was like, Siboney, where is my commission? Because my cousin is traveling next month. And she was like, yes, but your commission gets from 60 to 90 days after. And I was like, what? I didn't know that. And she was like, yes, it was on the Zoom presentation. And I'm like, I
Oh
didn't put
no.
attention in that part. But I mean, I wasn't going to drop off because of that, right? But yeah, for me, it was like, why did I didn't put more attention to that Zoom presentation? It's important.
But
But
well, I'm glad that that happened because had
yeah,
you known that, you maybe you would have
exactly.
decided not
Maybe
to
I
do it.
wouldn't have, yeah, yeah,
But you
probably.
did do it. So what did you decide to do at that point? Like, okay, well, I'm not gonna get paid for another 60, 90 days. Now what?
I was like, I need to ask my husband for a loan.
Okay. How did he
And
feel about that? He's like, well, what are you doing?
he was like, okay, but in how much time are you going to get real money? And I was like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months, or maybe five. And he was like, okay, I'll help you out. Just promise me that eventually you're going to get some money out of it. It's not
Yeah.
only going to be a hobby, it's not only more expenses to our family budget, you know. And I'm like, yeah, 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 I promise. That's also why I needed to sell, you know. Siboney told me about team building back then, and I was like, no, 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 I don't like that. I'm never going to do team building.
Yeah.
It doesn't interest me at all. I just want to be a travel agent and I want to have a travel agency, and that's it. And Siwane was like, okay, well, if you like that. So I started in social media. I start to get some clients, but still commissions weren't coming fast enough.
Mhm.
And for me, that $79 a month were like, oh, it was suffocating for me,
Right.
considering that my
Here it comes, another month. It's coming in like another
exactly.
week. It's like, ah, right.
Yeah, I
Stressful.
felt
Yeah.
the pressure. So I was like, Simone, what can I do? I feel really pressured and I don't want to drop off, but it's
Wait,
very
hold
hard
on
for
before
me.
you continue. For those of you guys that are currently watching, we're in the United States, and of course, it's like 69 or 79.99 or is currently 89.99. But just so you know, in Mexico, like as she alluded to earlier, her monthly wage equivalent to American dollars was 400 US dollars a month. So while with us, it may not seem like much where it's 69.99, 79.99 or whatever it is, to them it's like nearly a week's worth of wages, like 3, 4 days. So yeah, that pressure, I guess in a way, like if we're making around the average US income is around $3,000 a month, that's almost like saying, okay, I have this monthly expenditure of $800 that I'm gonna have to pay, or like $700 that I'm gonna have to pay this monthly. So clearly that's going to be very stressful. And so, of course, like how it translates to Mexico agents, it's going to be stressful, right? Even if it's just like 69 or whatever, 79 it was. So yeah, that stress is very real. That's all. I just wanted to kind of paint that picture, but go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Yes, it was very stressful. So by March, it was March 2022 was my fifth month in Archer. And I wrote to Siboney and I told her like I need help. I don't want to drop off, but I can't pay this month this monthly rate anymore. What can I do? And she told me, why don't you try to make your own team, like team building? And I'm like, but how can I do that? How many agents do I need? And she was like, you only need 6 in order for you to stop paying
Monthly.
your monthly. Yeah. And if you get in 3, you only have to pay half. And I was like, okay, so what do I need to do? So I think the way we do team building in 2025 is very different than the way we do it back in 2022.
Sure.
But back then, Siboney sent me to see all of the trainings that we have back then of what you need to do on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, with your friends, you know. So I started doing that, and she told me if I can give you some guidance or a very, very good tip is if you really, really, really want to become a silver or a bronze agent, you need to stop with your selling. You need to stop with the traveling part and just focus on team building at least for 30 days. So you can reach your 6 agents and you can stop paying monthly. I'm
So
like,
what
okay,
she basically says, shift focus for the
yes,
time being until
yeah,
you get your team established and get your monthly expenditure eliminated or eradicated, etc.
exactly. She told me this is not forever, it's just temporarily, just until you can stop paying those 69 a month.
Yeah.
So on April 2022, I focused 100% on team building and just on team building.
Okay.
At the end of April, I already had 6 agents, and the first week of May was when
Wait,
I
hold
became
on.
a team.
You fast forward too fast there. Because I know
Oh.
when you bring in your first person or bring in your second person and third person, it's a big freaking deal. So
Yes, it is.
I don't wanna skip over that part.
Okay.
So let's rewind just a little bit. All right, I decided I'm gonna team build. I'm gonna follow the curriculum that they gave me. So how did you get your first
I
agent or
think it
second?
was
That's so important.
posting on Facebook groups back
Okay,
then.
all right,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I put a Calendly link, like click here if you want more information. So that people went directly to the Zoom presentation.
uh-huh.
And I have a configuration
Who was doing
that
the
when
presentation at the time?
maybe pass, I'm not
Okay,
sure.
all right,
Maybe pass, I think.
yeah, okay,
So at the end of the presentation, that person got an email that said, "Hi, if you like the what you saw and you're interested in becoming a travel agent, just click here." And it was a link to my WhatsApp.
yeah,
So they click it and they texted me like, "Hey, I just went on the Zoom presentation. I'm really interested. What's next?" And I'm like, well, next I'm going to send you this link and you're going to fill out your information and then voila, you're a travel agent.
okay.
And that's it. I think that was my first one.
So you got your first, that must have been very like nerve-wracking, huh? Like, Oh my gosh, I got something. It's
Yeah, it was
not
like,
easy in the
okay,
process, yeah.
yeah, it was like, okay, this is happening. Like, maybe at the end of the month, it's going to be the last $69 that I have to pay. That
Right,
was my only,
right. Let's
like my
get
only
to that
objective.
six.
Yeah,
That's one down. Let's get to that six.
exactly. And I'm like, okay, so this is the way. If
Okay.
I keep posting on Facebook groups, this is going to keep happening until I reach 6 agents.
Yeah.
And that happened at the last week of April,
Okay. So how long did that take from start first agent to get your six?
30 days.
30 days. Okay.
Because I was 100% committed to that. I didn't do anything else from the moment I wake up through the moment I went to bed. I
Uh-huh.
was focusing 100% on those 6 agents.
Just to eliminate the monthly expenditure.
Yes, that was my only goal back then.
So you hit it. Was that like huge relief?
Amazing. It was like, "Ah, I can breathe now. Now I can dedicate myself to
Now
be
I
a
don't have to
travel
ask my
agent.
husband anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And the first week of May, I reached other three, so I become a silver.
Uh,
But back then I was like, okay, I'm a silver, perfect, that's great. I don't want anything else. I don't want any more, I don't want to do more team building. I just want to be a travel agent. I just want to talk about Disney and Universal on TikTok and on Instagram, and that's it. And I never want to do this again.
okay.
That's what I said back then.
So,
And for
real quickly, was that kind of hard for you? Like you got there, you got to silver, and then you're telling yourself, man, I'm good. I don't want to have to do that again.
yes, because
So
yeah,
it was a little bit like uncomfortable. Like
for me, yes, it was because in my mind, I never picture myself doing something like that.
okay, got it. All right, so
Yeah,
now you hit silver, and then you're
yeah,
like, all right, I'm gonna go back to talking about Disney and
yeah,
travel agents. Okay, go ahead.
exactly. And I was like that for 1 year.
Uh-huh.
The rest of 2022 and the beginning of 2023, I was like just travel agency stuff, and that's it.
All right. And
So
so
what?
what were you doing? Like when you're promoting travel agency stuff at that at that time, you're doing TikTok, you're doing
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, yes.
okay. So like, you're
Um,
grinding and you're posting what? Reels? You're posting stories, all of the above. Like kind of what was your kind of niche there? Like I like doing this. I like getting in front of the camera. I like talking about Disney. I like talking about travel. So what because I noticed if you're telling me you're doing Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, you're like posting in three different platforms.
yeah, but it was the same content. Like
Right. But you
my
just like
priority.
upload it, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah,
Same thing.
exactly. Yeah. My priority was and still is TikTok because it's my favorite platform. So I posted a video on TikTok, and then I posted it on Instagram, and then on Instagram stories I talked about the reel that I just uploaded, and then I uploaded to Facebook. So it was the same, just in the three different platforms.
Now, what is your frequency at this point? Because right now, like you love doing it, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, I
this is a
really do.
big thing because like you get in front of the camera. I think a lot of people struggle with that part.
Yeah,
Like,
I struggled with that at the beginning, but I mean, I needed the money. I needed to have sales. I needed to have a bigger income. Even though I wasn't paying the $69, I still needed the money.
right, like, what am I
I,
doing this for? Am I just doing because now, like, okay, I eliminated the monthly, but it's like, well, now it's still a hobby if I'm not generating
exactly,
more money. Yeah, I
exactly.
eliminated, so it's no longer an expense, but if it's not an expense, now it's just a hobby. So I better make money in this.
Yeah, because again, I have a little the pressure of my husband that he was telling me like, okay, I can loan you the money, but when is it going to become a business? Because right now you invest a lot of time in this, a lot of time, a lot of time, a lot of time, but I don't see the revenue. I don't see
Right.
the
The
income. Where
ROI,
is it?
the return on
Yeah,
investment. You're correct.
exactly. So I was afraid of the camera, but I hate people telling me what to do. I hate having people telling me what I need to do. So I was like,
Now, in that moment, is that your husband?
yeah. Yeah, so I was like, this is not going to be my way of living. I can have him or anyone telling me what I need to do or what I have to do.
No.
So I need to have my own money. I need for him to stop lending me money and I need to make my own. So yes, I was scared of the camera, but I think I hated more the other feeling that the feeling of having a camera in front of me. I think that was what pushed me or encouraged me to just keep going, even though
If
I was
this is the
embarrassed.
worst I have to do is get in front of the camera, but yet I make money in this, versus, me having to come to my husband and ask him for money or whatever, like, I'd rather just get in front of the camera. So whatever, fuck it. I don't care. I'll just get in front of the camera, right? Like,
Yeah,
the kind
something
of
like that.
attitude
Yes.
you have to have. You just gotta say,
Yeah.
all right, whatever. This is it. This is the way. So let's just get in front of the camera. Let's just do this thing.
Yeah, at least in Mexico, because we were coming from the pandemic, a lot of people were making their businesses in TikTok, on Instagram, and I was like, this is it. I mean, I don't have the money to go and look for an office and to pull a signal that says, I'm a travel agent, come meet me, you know? So this, for me, social media is the best channel to have, so you can sell your business, your trips without investing money, just investing time. And for
Right.
me, time is more expensive than money because it's time that you're not using with your family or with your friends or for rest. You know, that's why it's more expensive. So
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't have any money, but I have the time, so I'm going to use it as I can. And for me, time was the only thing that I can invest back then.
Now, what is your husband doing?
He has his own business.
Okay.
He makes I forgot the name in English. I forgot the name. I'm sorry.
Say it in Spanish. Somebody.
E-commerce. I'm sorry. E-commerce. I don't know
Okay.
why I
All right.
forgot
Right.
the word.
Okay.
He creates e-commerce platforms.
Okay.
So for him, his business was amazing in the pandemic because
Have to
a
go
lot of
online.
businesses were
Right.
moving to an e-commerce, you know.
Right.
So for him in pandemic, money was amazing. And
Flourished.
for me
Got it.
was, yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So now you're in front of the camera. You're grinding, and you went back to selling travel.
yeah,
Okay.
for a year.
Okay. Now, at this point, you made silver,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then, because I believe you were a gold by the time I went to the first posada, correct?
Yes.
All right.
I became gold on May 2023.
Okay.
So I think we met in the second posada. I didn't went to the first one.
You didn't go to the first one?
No, we met in the second one, which was my first.
Okay. Got it. I do remember you in one of them because I've been to every one.
It was in the one of 2023. I didn't went to the 2022 posada.
Okay. Got it. All right. So here you are. Went back to travel. So where did that kind of like switch happen? Where, you know what? I want to build a team. Because now you made silver. You're telling me for a year you just went back to, let's get in front of
Yeah.
the camera, let's sell travel, let's sell
Yes.
business, right?
Yeah.
So where did that turn around and say, you know what, I'm gonna go back to team building because I really don't like team building, but now I think I'm ready to do the team building. So where did that?
So it was because I mean I love I really fall in love of making social media, you know. I love TikTok, I love Instagram, I love all these platforms, and I wanted to travel more to create content, to
You know
take
what?
pictures.
I got a quick question for you. So you started with TikTok and Instagram. What are how many followers do you have now on TikTok, and how many followers do you have on Instagram?
On TikTok, it's like 130,000,
Okay.
and in Instagram, like 16,000.
Okay. So now with that said, what was your count when you started? Like, you know what?
Zero.
I love I love selling travel. So, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. And what was your follower count at that point?
0 in both of them.
Okay. But you know, but what I'm saying is like you've already sold travel, right? You're already doing Facebook, so you were in the Facebook groups. Okay, so you got on TikTok, you know, you did what Sibo said. I mean, at that point, some people are following you, right? So
No, because I didn't have a TikTok account back then. I mean, I opened new accounts only for the business.
got it.
That's why I'm saying I started from 0.
Okay. So when you decided, you know what? This was after you got your silver then. After you got your silver, you're like, you know what? I just want to sell travel. I want to
Yeah.
be I want to go on social media. Let's start a TikTok. Let's da, 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 da. Let's do Instagram. Starting from ground zero, right? So how long did it take from that point? And I'm assuming you loved it so much that you had like what, a video a day, a video every 2 days.
No,
What's the
no, back then, I mean, these platform algorithms move very, very fast. So the way algorithms work today is very different than the way that algorithms work back then in 2022. So
okay?
back in 2022, the algorithm helped people who uploaded like 2, 3, 4 videos a day.
Okay.
So that was what I was doing back then.
So you were grinding, just slamming video after video after
Yes.
video after video. Like,
Yeah.
how did you come up? And I know this is going to be a question for a lot of people, but like, how do you come up with that much content in terms
For
of like,
me,
yeah,
I
like,
mean,
okay, if I'm gonna post 2, 3 times a day, like that's a lot of content, right? Like, how do you even come up? And I know this is gonna go through a lot of people's mind. I think nowadays you can use, of course, AI to help you with that, but back then, I know for a fact AI was not a prominent feature. So, like, I know there was the passion. You've already made the decision. I like getting in front of the camera. But if you're telling me that you're posting 2, 3 times a day, holy smokes, that's a lot of shit to think about. Like, that's a lot of stuff to say. Like, if I'm gonna post 2, 3 videos a day, like I could only imagine what that workload is because ultimately I can see like 12-hour days, 13, 14, 15-hour days, simply by the mere fact that you're not just recording content, but you're also video editing. So that in itself, I know what that's like, you know? So here you are, like just bang, 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 bang. So you know, I guess my question to you, which I know a lot, it's gonna go through a lot of people's minds, like how did you come up with like that much content for you to even think about doing?
honestly, putting my marriage at risk. It's the answer that I always give.
That's the sacrifice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fights daily. Like, where are you? I don't see you. We don't talk. Where's my dinner? A lot of fighting.
Wow.
But at the end, I feel like, at least in Mexico, I don't know in the US or the rest of the countries, but at least in Mexico, Latin America, every woman that starts like this, everyone has problems with their husbands. I don't know if it's the culture, I don't know if it's sexism, but every woman who starts working a lot, they always have trouble with their husbands until the husband starts seeing the results. Once the husband see the money,
Ain't that the truth?
everything
God
stops.
honest truth. This goes
Everything is
across the
amazing. Your
board.
home is full of light and love.
Yes, this is
So yeah,
100% true.
at least in Mexico, it works like that.
Yeah, you know, I think there's a lot of pride that a lot of pride that a man has to eat in Mexico too, because I already know the traditional man mentality. I want to be the provider. I'm the one who's the boss. I'm the guy who calls the shots. You know, and that's built in. Like, man needs to feel like they're the provider. Of course,
Yeah,
you know, and then here comes the wife. He's used to a certain way,
exactly.
and it's just so much adjustment that needs to be accepted for the partner. I feel like it goes both ways for both spouses, that when you're grinding, it's something that you're not used to as a husband, as a boyfriend. But one thing that cannot be denied is the ambition and the drive, and of course, like he comes home or he's done with work, no dinner on the table. Oh, shoot, here it comes. So I can only imagine what the fights was like, you know.
Yeah, it was not pretty. Yes.
That, even with me and Nikki, it took a lot of getting used to this new work life, and it really put our marriage to the test too. Like, because you see this transformation of wife, girlfriend, wife, and you're used to them with a certain kind of like mentality, and then you see this flowering growth of a woman becoming a powerful woman. Like
Yeah.
she's become boss lady, and it's like, who is this person? And that takes a tremendous amount of getting used to um, and adjusting. But, thankfully for me, I'm very attracted to powerful women. So the stronger she got, the sexier she became. So it's like, yeah, keep that going. So I like that. So, but I would imagine that that was very hard for you and your husband. How did you get past it? Like, at one point, did like, okay, because I'm sure it got very close, like even entertaining the idea, maybe we have to split up, maybe we have to separate. I don't know if it got that far, but
You
like,
know what? No, actually,
when it
no,
gets
it
bad,
didn't.
okay,
It didn't. I mean, it did got very complicated. 2022, beginning of 2023. And for him, at the beginning of 2023, the pandemic was getting over, so he started losing clients, and his business started going down. So money was very hard for both of us. Very, very hard. And that was, well, I didn't tell you how I started building my team up to gold. So I arrived to March 2023. Chris was working for her two-star back then, and she had like this contest that the person who has the biggest growth or something like that. I don't remember what the contest was about, but the winner was going to get a free Disney cruise.
let's
That was the gift that,
go. Nice,
yeah. So I was like, what? I can have a free Disney cruise because I have never went to a Disney cruise back then. So I
nice.
was like, okay, what do I need? What do I need?
What do
I
I
remember
need to
I needed
do?
to become, yeah, I needed to become a gold by April 30 of 2023.
Right,
And if I do that, I was going to get a free Disney cruise.
let's
So it's
go.
like, okay, what do I need?
So that
Um,
really sparked a fire.
for me, yes, because
That was
I've
like your
been,
brain was like on
yes,
like all
yeah.
cylinders, like, oh, I'm in. Let's do this.
For
Okay.
me was like really mind blowing.
Yeah, yeah.
Once again, I have a lot of difficulties putting attention to sometimes ADHD.
Okay.
Chris had this contest since January. And I knew about that, I think, at the end of March. And I was like, why did I didn't know about this? And Siboney was like, dude, she's telling you this since December. Why didn't know? And I was like, I don't know. I never read the chats and things like that. So in March, I was like, okay, I only have 40 days to become a gold. And some of the agents that I had on my first account, some of those agents that helped me become a silver, some of them were almost silvers already. So I was like, okay, what do I need to do? If I open my second account and I make it silver and I had like 5, 6 more agents, I become a gold. Something like that. I don't remember quite well.
So you're a silver, but then like you weren't building, but then the people that you had brought in was building on their own.
Exactly.
Okay. So
Yes, 2 of them. So I just needed a third one, and Siboney told me, why don't you open your second account? and
got
you
it. And
become your
make
own
that own silver,
third
correct,
silver.
correct,
Yes.
correct, 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 correct.
Yeah, so I was like 15 away from my gold or something like that, and I had a month. And I was like, okay, if I already become a silver in a month and a week, maybe I can
You're like halfway there. You're just, I just
yeah,
gotta close this out. Yeah,
exactly. So I was like, I can.
yeah.
And April 30th arrived and I was on gold. I was missing like 4 or 5 agents or something like that. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to get my free Disney cruise. But I mean, I'm 5 away of becoming a gold
Gold, right,
agent.
right, right, right.
Yeah, and it's like $1,000 a month. So I can keep going. And on May 2023, I become a gold.
Okay.
And back then, I
Wait,
remember I said,
hold on. The cruise went to someone else.
yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. So
Yeah.
sorry, but hey, you shot for the moon and you landed on the stars. So yeah,
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 something like
all
that.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep
So
going.
in May, I become gold, my first gold, and I remember I thought, um, this wasn't that hard. I mean, it was hard, but it wasn't that hard.
I guess
So
that's where you started like learning your grind. Like, hey, you know what? I really want this cruise so bad, and then you almost got to gold, but that work for you to get to almost gold or get to
mhm,
gold was so important for
yeah,
you to say, F it. I don't care how uncomfortable this makes me. This is something I want. I want the damn Disney cruise. Kind of like, I don't like being in front of the camera, but like I know this is
it's a
how
free
I'm gonna
Disney
make it.
cruise. Yeah,
This is uncomfortable for me, so I don't care. I'll just get in front of the camera. So you had those incentives that were bigger than your uncomfortability or the
yeah,
things that you didn't like to do. But
definitely.
you were willing to just go ahead and do it. Okay, so now you're like, all right, I'm almost there. Let's go ahead and finish up. Let's get this gold.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I got my first gold, and then for me, it was like, looking back, it wasn't that hard. I mean, it was hard, but it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be.
Yeah,
So maybe I can start working for my double gold
yeah.
because, again, my husband was having trouble in his business back then. And I wanted to travel more. And
So
I mean, every,
how were you building then? Like you just shift focus like Sibo told you, all right,
exactly.
I'm gonna abandon, my travel talk for now. Let's
Yeah.
talk about like, hey, build a team and whatever.
Yeah,
Like you're in recruiting mode. Like
exactly.
I'm gonna use my social media to like build
Recruit.
a team. Okay, so now
Mhm.
you shift focus. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Again, I should focus. And at least in the Mexico, Latin America team, every month, Chris has this monthly meeting with the team, and they congratulate like the new ranks, and they congratulate the top sellers and things like that.
Yeah.
And I've always seen like how Pass is always on the top sellers, for example,
Uh-huh.
and things like that. And I saw Chris and I saw Paz and I saw Gabi that they were always with new ranks.
Yeah.
And I was like, why am I not there? Like, why am I not a top seller if I really focus on this? Or why am I not like a leader? And for me, the answer is because I still had my other job, because I have to be 8 hours on that other job and still investing it here. So back then I told my husband I'm going to quit
Wait, wait,
because
wait, wait, wait. We totally skipped over that part. I thought you were doing this full time already.
no, 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 it was
So,
half time back then.
okay, so you were still working this whole entire time
Yeah, yeah,
with that administration.
yeah,
Okay, making $400 a month or what?
yeah,
Got it.
yeah,
Okay, got it. So you were building while having a full-time job too. I think that's very important because we do have a lot of people that still do this with a full-time job too. So, all right. So it was only then when you decided, you know what? I want to be like them. So
yeah.
I'm going to quit my job.
Yeah, because back then, I already were friends with them. I have already met Siboney and Chris in person, and Paz and Mariana and Adri and all of them. and we went like, let's go have like coffee breaks, like let's go have lunch or things like that. So we became friends, and of course we talk about work in the social meetings. And I was like, I am perfectly capable of being a top seller like them. I'm perfectly capable of being a platinum like them. Why am I not? And the only reason that I could think about is that I don't have the same hours that they have because I have this other job. So I need to quit. So those 8 hours that I use in that work that
Mhm.
only give me $400 a month, I
Yeah.
can use them in here. And maybe I can be a top seller and maybe I can become a platinum, blah, 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 blah. The
Mm.
thing is that I still needed that money. Is maybe it's not that much, but for me, I needed it. It was like it was a fixed
Was it
income
the
for me.
fact that because clearly your husband was kind of making enough for both of you, but it was the idea that you wanted like your own money is
Yeah,
what it was? Like,
yeah,
okay.
definitely.
Yeah.
So I talked to him in July 2023, and I told him, okay, I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to quit, but I need you to give me the money. I need those $400,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to give
Wait,
anything.
you made him give you your salary?
Yeah.
This
I'm
is
like,
funny.
I need you
I
to
can't believe.
support me in this. And I promise you that if you help me for the next 3 months, by September, I'm going to earn enough money for me to pay the whole rent of the place
Let's
that we live
go.
at.
I think he liked the sound of that.
Yeah. He told me, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I can afford the rent, but you need to help me this 3 months by paying me that salary that I am no longer going to have. He was like, okay, let's do it.
Okay.
So I stopped working. He gave me the money. And my second goal didn't arrive by September, but it arrived by October. So in November, I started paying the
And you
rent.
were able to show him the numbers clearly, like, okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't make it in September, but look, we're almost there.
Uh-huh.
Telling you this is, and then you're having to explain it to him, look, I just got to get to this part, and what that's going to do, it's going to create these funds that, residual income that's going to come out, da 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 da.
Mhm.
That now it started making sense to him. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, got it.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
So by November, I was already paying rent.
Mhm.
And in
And I'm
December,
guessing he really liked that. Like,
of course, that's what
okay.
I'm telling you. It happens every time, at least with the Mexican husbands.
Yeah.
They are angry and we fight. And
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
only me, because I have all of my friends in Mexico are almost all of them, maybe 90% of them are married.
Yeah.
All of them go through the same thing. And when
Everyone.
they start seeing the money, all of them just,
Yeah. Of course.
it's like magic.
Of course. Is the shut up husband pill.
Something like that. Yes, I like the term. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So that happened in November. So I was paying rent. I was very happy. I was double gold. Everything was great. Um, then in December was the second posada. That's where I met you.
Yep.
And you gave this talk about setting your goals, like in what kind of home do you want to live, what kind of car, what kind of travels, all that. And I was like, honestly, that talk that you gave back then for me was very revealing. I remember
Making
you
it a
start
reality.
saying something like, once you know what type of car, what type of travel, what type of home do you want to live in, um, now set a number, like how much money do you want to earn per month? I think you said back then that you wanted 100,000 a month. I don't remember. Maybe it was something like that. And you were like, okay, if I want this amount of money, I need this amount of platinums. And I have never seen it that way. I remember in that moment, I texted Chris and I told her, hey, how many agents do I need if I want to become a two-star platinum? And she was like 1,500. I'm like, okay, I need to become a two-star platinum. But back then I was a double gold. I mean, I had 84 agents.
Right.
And I was like, how the hell am I going to have 1,500 agents if I only have 42,
Right.
44
Right.
by now?
Right.
And I was like, I don't know, but a year ago, I didn't even want to team build.
Right.
And now I'm a double gold.
Right.
And 2 years ago, I was earning $400 a month.
Right.
and now I have 2,000 a month.
That's right.
So plus commissions. So even though right now 100 and I mean 1,500 seems crazy for me,
Yeah.
the other things were also crazy a year ago and 2 years ago. So maybe in a year it's not going to be that crazy for me, or maybe in 2 years, I'm still not a two-star platinum. Um, but I don't know. Maybe at the end of the year I will be. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that moment for me was like a, I don't know, like an epiphany, like
Aha moment.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You said it right. Epiphany.
Yeah, and that moment it's when everything started. That moment
That was the
was for
fire.
me like, yeah, for me it was.
Yeah.
And I started and then I
So
got,
you're giving me credence and credit for that
yeah.
moment that sparked boom.
I told you that on Vegas last
Yes, you
year, and
did.
I'm sure
Yes,
you
you
don't
did.
remember, but I
No.
told you a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me that was that moment. And I don't know, the next is history. I become platinum, then double platinum, the 1 star, then double 1 star. I just never stopped.
Yeah. I mean, I remember that talk that you had with me. Like, you just opened my mind because, like, I never thought of it that way. And I'm so thrilled because, I do that. I did that with every one of my platinums, to make that a reality. Like, let's make this real. Let's not. One of the biggest things that um, I struggled with, and I think what a lot of people struggle with when they join this business, oh, okay, like I'm gonna make money and now things are gonna get better. But this idea of getting better, it's so foggy. We never define it. And that is where a lot of people have the problem, where like, well, what is it going to take for me to get to that financial freedom or that place that we'd personally be happy, etc. And once we start defining those things, then we have a much clearer picture, and you can smell it, you can touch it. Oh my gosh, it's real. And
Yeah.
the fact that here is a person, Chris Trujillo, which is not too far and not too different from your story. She's just a little bit ahead of you. And then she put in the work and da 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 da. So you're telling me if I can do the same thing, it may seem ludicrous and ridiculous, the idea of me having 1,500 agents. But hey, you know what? It was actually kind of crazy a year ago where I was making 400 US dollars and now I'm making 2,000. You just like 5x your income
In 1 year,
in
yes.
1 year, 5x it. And that sounds ridiculous back
Yeah.
then. So
Back then,
you're
yes.
telling me that I can make this amount if I get here, which sounds ridiculous, but it was ridiculous a year ago that what I'm making now. All right, let's go to work. I
Yeah.
want that life. I want to change that. How incredible is that? So look at you, man. I'm so proud of you. Like so now, like what does it look like now?
Right now, 180 away from 2 star.
You hear that, guys? That is sick. That is sick. That'll probably get done in probably realistic about 2 months. I think you close it out like around there, maybe 2 or 3 months time frame, right? Like give or take. So
Yeah.
that is so huge. That is so huge. Good for you. And look at that. Making that a reality. Like, oh my gosh. You're like a stone throws away, right? And now you're gonna make that a reality. I can't wait to actually see that dream and that goal to become a realization.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah,
you
it's very, for me, it's still very crazy.
so I hate to ask this, but what does this compare to the income that you're making now in conjunction to like what your husband earns? Have you passed them or
Unfortunately, my husband's business hasn't been working out
uh,
uh, as he wished. So now I'm the main income of the
uh,
household.
That is just incredible. Right, and I I love I love the security in that. I love the security just in that now here you are like now what does he do as a guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess just enjoy the ride, right? Like, okay, this is where we are, and it's just gonna get bigger, and it's just gonna get better, and all he had to do with it is, for the main part, accept that, hey, this is my wife, she's growing bigger, and she's being better, and so like, why not take this ride with her? Like, you know, um, I had this conversation with you in the cruise ship, and we were walking back to our rooms. We were going to your room, and we kind of had the same path, so
Mhm.
we got to share a conversation. And I didn't know if you were married or not. So I was like, oh, do you have a husband? You're like, yeah, of course. And then you showed me your ring, and then like we started talking like, how does your husband take all of this? And you shared with me that he's more on the more reserved side, like he's more of an introvert, etc.
No, that's social, yeah.
And during the convention, this convention specifically, because it was a cruise, it allowed people to bring their loved ones, their spouses, their kids, etc. But you kind of like thought ahead of time, where like this is a work thing, and then you opted to tell your husband like, nah, it's probably a good idea that you don't show up to this because this is I'm gonna be work minded. And you had mentioned like, I'll be even lucky if I even get a dinner with you because I'm gonna actually utilize this time to focus on my team and my leadership and the agents, and of course content creation, and your brain is going to be on work mind. And I believe it made sense because of how you're explaining how far you've come into your journey here with evolution travel and what you've been able to create for yourself. And then further, you described to your husband like, hey, when we go on vacation, we'll have our own thing, but I
You know what? It was not exactly like that. The first trip that I made after I become a travel agent, it was like a year after I started, and I went with a cousin. We went to Disneyland in California, a cousin that I didn't know that well. And we went, and she told me, yeah, yeah, of course. I want to help you. Yes, and I understand it's a working trip for you, and you're going to make content, blah blah blah. And she was very angry with me all the time because she wanted to go on rides or she wanted to do this or that. And for me, it was a working trip. This was December 2022. That's why I didn't went to the first posada because I already have that trip.
yeah,
So she was like, let's go for Starbucks or let's go here or that, whatever. And I was like, no, no, I need to take this picture. I need to take this video. And she was very uncomfortable. And I remember talking to my husband back then, and he was like, I told you the trip was going to be very awkward because you don't know your cousin. And I'm like, yeah, but she told me that she understood that this was for work. She understood that we were going to Disneyland to take pictures and to make videos and to create content. And he was like, yes, but you need to understand that she doesn't understand that you're going to Disney to work.
yeah,
She thought you were going to work 20 minutes and the rest you were going to play.
yeah,
So, since my first trip, he understands that when I'm traveling, it's 100% work. Even though people think that I'm going to Disney just to play around and to go on rides, I'm really working. So when I tell my husband I have this trip or I have this cruise or this convention or whatever, he's like, "Oh, okay. I'm gonna miss you." But it's not like, "Why are you going without me?" Because he understands it's not a vacation. You
yeah,
want to go on vacation, let's plan vacations together where I'm not going to work. But these trips, these conventions to Vegas, to Carnival, next year to Hawaii, it's not a vacation, and he understands that.
right. And what you alluded to prior, like our conversation, you set aside like, hey, when we do something, that will be our time.
Yeah,
It's not.
that's going to be a vacation. You know, Carnival was no vacations. Vegas is no vacation. Hawaii is not going to be a vacation
Yeah.
unless we arrive before or after, you know.
Yeah, and
Um,
I think a lot of leaders kind of had that same sentiment. Like they understood it when they brought their spouses this convention too, right?
yeah.
And they brought their spouses, and now for the first time they're going through it, where like, hey, this is a work thing,
Mm,
but here's the spouses like, yeah, but what about me? Like, when are we gonna spend time together?
yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, like that's when it's a work thing. You're just gonna be you. Look, just enjoy your time with you and the kids. Don't like let me work, right?
Yeah.
So, I think there was like a lesson learned in a lot of ways too, to kind of like juggle both, especially when you're a social media, you know, person and you generate your leads and you that is your job. And so like when you're there, yeah, you know, you're going to be creating content, and sometimes like they think sometimes it you know like it's going to be natural and you're going to get it right on the first take or something like that. No, no, I'm working here, so this is going to have to be take after take or whatever until I feel good about it. And then let alone I got to push this content out, so I'm working on video editing and da 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 and all of the above. And a lot of people don't realize what it is until they actually see, oh, this is it. This is what they do. And I want to say, like, even during my grind, here I am going to dinners with my friends and family, and I'm closing people. I'm bringing people on board. So most of my time is right here, spending on, and then
Yeah.
I'm closing people, and, you know, on the phone, and you know, they just kind of have to accept what it is. But aiming to find somewhere in that space to try and shut it off too at some point. You know, like to spend time with the spouse and the husband, the church, God. Well, that's important for me because, like, you know, there is such a thing as a burnout, and some people are just made different. So they can just go 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And for me, that was my work, and I needed to have that kind of mental break too. So, you know, my rule of thumb was I'll give everything to my agents 6 days out of the week, but on the seventh day, guys, just give me that one day, because that one day I spend it with God. I go to church, and then I want my wife. You know, I want to spend it with my kids, and I want to spend it. But at the same time, the other 6 days of the week, it's go time, right?
Yeah.
So that's super cool. Um, what would your advice be for all these up and coming agents today?
You know what? I really like a phrase that Tommy Joe said on her speech or on her one-star speech in Carnival. She said, "A platinum is just an executive who never give up." I love that phrase. And I think it's one of the best advice that someone that's starting in this business can do. Like, just don't give up. It's going to be hard. Yes, it's going to be hard. It's going to be exhausting. Yes, it's going to be exhausting, definitely. You're going to fight with your husband or your partner. Yes, you're going to do it. But if you keep going, you'll eventually get there because it's honestly, it's just a matter of time. It doesn't matter if you start today or if you started 1 year ago, it's just a matter of time. So if you keep going, if you don't give up, you'll get there. Maybe fast, maybe slow, but you'll definitely get there if you don't give up.
Yeah. There was one story that Jim Rohn told me, and it reminded me of your story because you're like, can I have money to start this business? And in this story, I forgot her name, but she became a multi millionaire, and she was married for about 13 years or whatever. And there was one question that she asked her husband, and it was his answer that just basically drove her to like never ask him that question again. She asked him, "Can I have $10?" That was it. And his only question was, "What for?" It's not like he wasn't going to give it to her. He asked what for. And it was the fact that he asked what it was for. Like, I need your authority to ask you for money, and I have to explain myself to you. And ever since then, she's like, you know what? I don't need it. And then she built an empire just because he asked the question, what for a simple $10. So it's amazing what a woman's mindset can do with a made up mind. It's quite frankly amazing what any human being will do with a made up mind. I think, another thing is Chris Trujillo's story resonates with me because, like, she decided, she was training, as I was mentioning earlier, about social media, and like, this is how you do social media, and then this is how you go viral. Whoever does this first will be the one next. But then, like, she recognized, well, you know what? I can't teach this if I don't do it myself. And so she made the decision to say, you know what? I'm gonna go viral. I'm gonna do this, etc. And then sure enough, she put in the work etiquette and the work ethic to prove that it can be done. It will be done. And so now, how does that translate to the work etiquette and work ethic to all of her people and her agents in her downline? Like, here you are. Here are a lot of amazing other leaders in Mexico following that same exact blueprint and mentality to get to where they are, just grinding social media. And I think it's just a phenomenal thing. And so, my biggest takeaway right now in this conversation is, you know what? My uncomfortability of going in front of the camera is a lot less than not getting the things that I want, So I'd rather just get in front of the camera if this is my work and this is how I'm going to get my agents, then this is what you got to do to get there. So I firmly believe, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you get to two-star,
Yeah.
and, and then beyond, three-star, etc. So
Yeah. For me, the issue was I can't just stand having someone telling me what to do and when to do it and how to do it.
yeah,
It's like I can't. So it was like, what do I need to do for him to shut up? Or what do I need to do just to stop anyone telling me what, when, and where? So the camera was not that bad versus that other thing.
I think a lot of people can definitely relate with your story. And I've heard story after story because this is truly an empowering business. A
It
lot
is.
of wives, a lot of girlfriends join this business as a supporting mother, as a stay-at-home mom, or whatever. And here they get put into a position to actually make even bigger and better income than their husbands. And it's like that dynamic alone can create clearly friction because there is going to have to be a lot of pride and ego that a man generally has to accept and let go, and I think you said it best. We all, as men, shut up when the money comes in and they get to
Yeah.
enjoy their lives the way they want to. I know for a fact that a lot of the leaders' husbands ain't complaining. They're not. And I know all of them. I've met all of them. They can't complain. They get to freaking
Exactly.
stay at home. They don't have, like, the words, I retired my husband is insane to me. Like,
Yeah.
husbands, it's a complete role reversal. I know quite a few, and I'm not going to call out any names, where the husband is now making, where the
Yeah,
husband
actually,
is
my leaders,
caretaking.
my gold leaders, the ones that are married, all of them earn more money than their husbands.
Yeah.
All of them. The
Yeah.
ones that are married. It's crazy. In Mexico, I don't know in the US, but in Mexico, that's
Oh, that's the case
crazy.
here too. Like, it's just dope. Like, I love it. But what that also does, in my opinion, aside from all the ego aside, is that it brings peace to the household eventually
Yeah,
once the
it does.
man accepts it.
Agree.
Oh, so
100% agree. Trophy husband club, says Chris.
retired husbands club. Yep, there's a trophy husband club. There it is, the trophy husband club. Yeah.
Yeah.
So stop bitching, husbands. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just shut up and make me dinner. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Like, a man needs to hold on to his nutsack too. Right? That's
I know,
important.
I know, I know.
Like, we don't want to emasculate the man because, it's
Yeah.
important for the man to feel like a man. Because if you don't do that now, it's like, yeah. The worst part is, and I hate this, is if when the woman, yeah, becomes the breadwinner and then they start chopping off the balls of the man, and then the man feels less of a man, and is like that creates a certain level of disrespect from the woman to the man. So
Yeah.
it's a fine game that we have to play here, because like, hey, thank you for all the things that you do. Like, if it wasn't for you making food at home and making sure that you allow me to work and allow me to grind, then we probably wouldn't be where we are today. And so, respect to all of those respecting husbands, especially because, I'm going to upload this onto YouTube for all the agents that get to watch this on video. When you watch it, all you like husbands out there supporting your wives, your girlfriends, thank you for what you do. And, how it's going to come back to you is going to be tenfold. So keep supporting your wives, and your girlfriends in all of their ambitions and, and their motivation. All right. So I think that really covers it all. Thank you so much, Anilu, for coming and
Thank you
sharing.
for the invitation.
Yeah, I know you're stupid busy. You're grinding constantly. Everyone give Annie Lou a follow. Watch her work, guys. Watch her work. Take notes on the kind of frequency that she's working in. She's constantly producing content. Follow her on TikTok. Follow her on Instagram, of course. Chris Trujillo too. Give them a follow. Give her a follow, and then you can see, you can just really tap in to their work ethic. They're constantly posting. They're constantly putting up stories. It's just a nonstop grind. So if you want to get to where they are, then consider like what they're doing. You just got to say F it. You know what? I'm going to get in front of the camera. It's time to go to work, and this is my new life. I am going to be an online presence. I'm going to be an online personality. I am going to be that specialist in what I do in this niche that I'm going to be putting myself in, right? There is a thing called analysis paralysis. If you overthink it, like Jay Coco is saying, then you're gonna just not do it, honestly, because you're looking for perfection. You just gotta, you just gotta do. You just gotta do. You just gotta get going, do it, and you have a lot of inspiration. You have a lot of people that are making it work through that. So continue to keep doing, continue to keep grinding. Appreciate all of you guys, and once again, thank you, Annie Lou, for coming, and you know, appreciate you, and keep going. I'll see you at Two Star.
Sure thing. I'll see you at the Posada of this year.
Well, I'm still waiting for an invite, so like, when I get the invite, maybe I'll show up. I don't like
You'll get it. I know you'll get it.
I
Don't
don't like
worry.
to show up uninvited. It's like, hey, who do you think you are, pal?
You'll get it, I'm sure.
Well, we'll see. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for coming to Power Hour. We love you guys, and hope Annie Lou's Manrique's story resonated with you in some kind of way to help you guys get going in your business. So, I'll see you at the top, and I'll can't wait to watch and hear your guys' success stories. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a blessed and wonderful week. See you guys soon.